does it hurt so much when the day breaks? Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show.
And good morning on this Monday morning, May the 25th. It is 6:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Dave, aka the Cornbread Man, wishing you a memorable family get-together kind of Memorial Day. It's one of those holidays, I don't know, we say have a good Memorial Day. I guess I could say that. I would say it's a day of remembrance, reflection, prayer, maybe some sadness too. Make it about family. That's what freedom should be. That we have family, that we can freely worship together, meet together, go about our business as we want to. Nobody's stopping us at checkpoints, at the state line. You know, there are things we don't like that we feel like are encroaching upon our freedoms. But we still have a heck of a lot of freedom. We still have that wonderful document called the Constitution. And if it wasn't for that document, where would we be today with all that's going on in our nation? It continues to beat back those that would try to destroy it. We're thankful for those who keep us safe and free, although danger lurks everywhere. They say they maybe have a deal in place in the Middle East. It's a slow negotiation. It's seemingly going the right way, although no one really knows exactly if it's going to happen. I guess only the Iranians themselves know that. It is said, though, through people asking Arab countries that are involved, as far as mediators and passing along information, that the strait will be opened up and there will be Iranians will be able to sell some oil, at least, which is probably some sanctions still in place, but they'll be able to get back in the business of selling oil and that enriched uranium. There will be something done with that within 60 to 90 days. Now, that's a lot of moving parts. So we will see. I don't know myself, but we will see. I would hope that after all the expense of what's been there, expense being lives and everything and cost, yes, that we do get those things. Commerce gets going, and all those that are, hating every day on this whole thing will just now have something to complain about it being over with, I guess. So they'll have to move on to something else. I'm not saying it's not their right to complain. I'm just saying, though, that it's the end of the world to some people. It's the end of the world. The world's going to be forever. I don't know where this end of the world stuff comes from. Even though there's a lot of violence to come in the future as given by the scriptures, the world will always be here. It's God's creation. He's not giving it away. We're going to clean it up, fix everything back anew. We'll be under the blessing of that, but it's not going away. He's into the world, people. Got to find a new business. It's like the old hand readers, palm readers, they called them back in the day. You used to see them everywhere. I guess all that's on the internet now. They had the little shop set up with the hand in the air. I guess it was like that. Read your palm. We never did that. Never go see those people. They'll just have to find a new line. They're predicting the end of the world, predicting the end of the president, predicting the end of this. It's almost as if they want us to be destroyed. They're happy about it. Isn't it amazing how many people live in America? It's sad, but amazing. How many people live in America, enjoy the wonder of it and everything, but people wish for its destruction now for different reasons. Some because they've been sent here to help facilitate its destruction. And nothing, Watchman, not complaining about anything. I'm just saying people be complaining if there's a deal. But uh, people sometimes wish the end of the world because they have predicted the end of the world. So they have to have it happen now or they look foolish. They just move the line. I mean, it's the end of the world. Well, it didn't happen today. Well, I gotta have to go to tomorrow or next week and choose me a date in the future. Doggone it! I took everybody's money, and I told them it was going to be the end of the world. The world didn't end. I guess the secret would be to predict the end of the world past the date that you will be alive, and then, just good morning, brother Daniel. Good morning. Happy Memorial Day to you. Do you have to work today, or are you off today? Hope you get to spend time with family. Most of my family's scattered today, so I'm actually going to spend the afternoon a little while with Biscuit Boy and his family. He invited me, and I said, sure, appreciate that. So, Jeremy, he's got to work, and Kaylee's with her mom until Wednesday. May see my sister a little bit. Other sister's back home. So, sure, why not? Go live on the broadcast some, get a few things done I need to get done, and go spend a couple hours with the Biscuit Boys. But I hope you're off today. Watchmen, I hope you have a wonderful and blessed Memorial Day. Let's think of all those soldiers and what their service to us as a country. Let's get on our verse this morning. Here we go. Right about now. But you shall receive power. After that, the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. The Great Commission, Acts 1:8 there, but said in other ways as well in the Gospels, but our taking of the gospel. Oh, yeah. Maintenance always gets, well, you get more pay that way, I guess. So, well, be safe on that. You still work in the same place? I think I know where you're at working at. You don't have to say the name. I think I know where you're working at. But yeah, our plant runs. It's not shut down, but a lot of management and people attached to management they get the day off, and it's nice. I guess the next one after this will be July 4th, and we'll celebrate that. Maybe do a lot of fireworks or something. I don't know. I went with, it's amazing, I remember for years and years in my area, I got you. Ain't it amazing how many people need stoves? It's a good thing, though, for you. I remember for years when it became, around July 4th, we would go to the place up in Tennessee and get our fireworks. There was a couple places. It wasn't that many. Now, they changed some laws, and now they're everywhere. I mean, I can go across the state line here. Other cities started adopting it. Anyway, East Ridge, a town near me, filled with those places. We went to Scooters the other day down in Alabama, Scottsboro, and I was noticing down through there was those that selling the fireworks as well. It's become a thing. Used to be there was only certain places that you could go to get the fireworks. We have gotten a lot of rain in the last few days. Hopefully that'll keep up and we'll get over this drought condition so it'll be dry enough that people won't panic or they won't ban them. Yeah, who can afford fireworks? I got you, Watchman. It's like a lot of things. They are high, though. I mean, they got high a long time ago. I mean, it's crazy. Used to, when we get older, we say a lot of used to's. And we think that means like recent, but it really means like a good while ago. You could take $100 to the fireworks store and you could buy a ton of fireworks. I mean, it was so cheap. Nowadays, the $100 box. Don't tell the kids you're going to be firing off a lot of fireworks and think you're going to buy the $100 box. The kids will be going, that's it? No big bombs? No nothing? No finale? Neighborhood goes, oh, the Cordells are going to have fireworks this year. You go out there, you fire off about maybe 10 things along with the firecrackers and stuff. Like, okay, folks, that's it. So we can afford everything's gone in about 5 minutes. That's it, dude. If you're not going to do more than that, just not even start. I went to now I've been to some that were really good. I mean, the fireworks were long and amazing, just beautiful, choreographed, all that stuff they do with electronics and computers and stuff. I've been to a couple that's been pretty weak. One of those, we were on vacation in Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area, and the Titanic ship, that you walk through it, and that is a neat thing to go through. I have nothing against it, but they were going to have a Christmas celebration or something, and they were talking about some fireworks or something, and we waited and waited. I mean, it was packed, and we had to sit there for like 2 hours out in the parking lot. I sat on the bed of my truck, like, okay, just wait and wait. And we're talking, we're spending time together and talking to people. And they finally start. We've waited, and finally they come out. They played like 3 songs and fired off some sparklers, and that was, I'll never forget. My son Joshua, when we kept telling him, because Josh was always, he's ready to go. He's ready to get up in the mountains. He was ready to be at the cabin. And he said, he's like, really, Dad? That's it? Because we kept telling him, you got to stay. It's going to be great. You want to spend time with us. You do not want to miss this, Josh. This is going to be a big deal. And at the end, he's like, really? I stayed for 2 hours for that? I'm out of here. Oh, I would say they're going to fire off a bunch. It'll be the most amazing thing. It'll be the greatest, the best, as the president would say. Never been anything seen like it. Yeah, it'd be neat to go see. Definitely have to pull that one up on the television, pull that up on the computer screen. I'll probably do some kind of show that night. I would definitely want to see that one. Watchman said they used to pull their money, and a couple other guys get like $1,500 worth of fireworks across the line in South Carolina that have huge fireworks place. They give you a shopping cart and free fireworks as you spend. Wow, man, that'd be a lot of fireworks, or it would have been. I mean, yeah, the used to's. Now you walk in 1,500 and they're like, yeah, you're over here with the frugal people. This will be this one little aisle right here. Yeah, just stay on that aisle. We've already got some packaged up. It won't take long. It was always fun to go, though. I don't know. When you I think when you're a kid, anyway, maybe even as an adult, when you have to travel a little bit to that place that you never really go to, and you have to travel a little bit, you got to drive the 30, 45 minutes or whatever it is. Maybe it's an hour. You're like, it's like it becomes a family tradition. It's like great. It's like, when are we going to leave for the fireworks? People that have that around them, they're like, we'll get those anytime. It don't matter. But for us that didn't have them sold in our town, that's a big deal. That's a big event. You load up the family truckster and everybody's so excited. Yeah, they had some free stuff they'd give you, like, and this bin here is free. You can have up to 3 things, or whatever, 5. And the kids are like, oh, wow, I get some sparklers. It was like the greatest thing. I love, that's why I think when the time frame that I grew up, maybe the greatest in history, honestly, because even though there were things going on in the world that, were tough, I really didn't. They weren't affecting me, or at least not to the point that I knew about them. But I just had a great life, and it was so fun. I mean, because we didn't have endless television. We had radio. I was a big radio, but you spent time outdoors. I mean, it was just a great childhood, and you just think of all those fun things that I mean, that was like an event. Today, kids would be like, "Go to the fireworks store." Like, or if the kid want to go blow up stuff. Oh, yeah, let's load up. It's time to go. Let's blow something up. I need some more gunpowder. But the kids, they'd be like, whatever. Is that on, they'd be going, is that on TikTok? Is that something I can watch? There's a tattoo shop that puts on a July 4th fireworks show up the road. For me, it was huge last year. They took an hour to get out there. Took me an hour to get out there, and was at least 5,000 people in 3 stores and fire department, one red light. Was that Illa, Georgia? Illa, what was that? Illa? That would be cool though, man. I like stuff like. I mean, that's cool. Kind of takes you back a little bit. I love small town anyway. You got that's where community is. When I was traveling a lot, and I don't travel much. Every once in a while I get out, like the other day, not tons though. It's an hour away. But when I was traveling a lot, I would travel through all these small towns, and I loved it. I'd purposely go through, take highways and go through small towns whenever I could and get off the interstate. Um, it was great to see the community stuff going on. I didn't always have time to stop, but I would always think every family should always be able to experience small town America, where everybody pretty much knows everybody. They have county fair. Everybody comes together. Everybody. Its community is big and stuff like that. It still is. That shop is in an old bank, and they buy fireworks all year long and store them in the bank vault. Oh, how cool! How cool is that? That's interesting. What an apropos place. I mean, a bank vault. I mean, it's expensive, Still, got to keep the valuables away, but protected. I understand. Uh, and everybody, yes, there were, and you have to be careful. Everybody has a fireworks story where there was injuries. Unfortunately, firstly for us, it was not bad. We didn't have the finger blown off or anything like that. And it wasn't because we were acting silly. Although I did, as a teenager, we did do some silly stuff. But we had a multi. I forget what it's like. I forget what they call them. It was like our last thing we fired one year, and it has multiple rockets that fire in sequence. A friend of mine said, I don't think I bought it. It might have been a friend. I don't know. Jeremy, my oldest son, was just a little kiddo. I mean, I had set him on top of the car on a blanket and was standing there with him, and he was watching, just loving it. You see the colors. He was excited. They were out in the road in our community firing these up. And we got to the last thing, nothing did happen. We got to the last thing. When that thing went off, the first shot jolted it and it fell over. And so everything started firing towards us. And a lot of those were coming right at my son. I had to grab him and remove him. He loved it. He thought laughing. He thought it was funny. He didn't realize the danger he was in. And then those things were firing at, cars, the house. I just caught a moment. That was messed up. Watchman says it was as good as any fireworks show I've seen in Athens, and these are just some good old boys. They put on a pro show and concert, food, awesome. Well, that's cool. Sometimes there's a family or something in a community, and they want to be that person. It's almost like a service to the community, And I don't know if they're going to be doing it anymore. There's something like that that's done in a smaller community close to us. Lynn, when she was alive, would take the kids and go. I never went. I was usually worn out from grilling and everything. I don't know if they're going to have it anymore, but they've done that. It would be music and games and fireworks and stuff. And they would go every year. But I would just be so hot and worn out by that evening after being over a grill a lot of the day. I was done. So I didn't usually go, but they would go. I'd watch the ones that we have here close to our house near the amusement park. So I would sit there and watch that while they went out there and sweat. I don't sweat no more. So anyway, maybe I should have went, but I didn't. It's a small world. The guy that I taught to tattoo taught the guy that owns that tattoo shop that does the fireworks. I just found that out. It is a small world. The connections in our life, who those connections have connections to, would amaze us if we knew all of them. And we find out sometimes after years that has happened. When we think about, just showing up someplace and somebody else shows up. I went to a funeral one time, and there was a guy there I worked with. We didn't hang out or nothing, but he knew me. And he says, "What in the world are you doing here?" I said, "I could say the same for you." He said, well, this is some of my family. I said, well, we're connected by grandchildren. He's like, oh, had no idea. He said, I've been working around you all these years, and I never knew that there was a connection. I said, well, there has been for the last so many years because those are my two grandchildren right there. So I'm here, to honor a life and to stand with my grandchildren, who that was their kin. I don't remember what an aunt or something, I think. But yeah, it's a small world. I mean, you just don't know. Running into people at odd places, and you're like, interesting. Or you have a friend and you don't know each other, but both of them know you, and it amazes. Like, I didn't know that that y'all were still, and then you kind of figure out the connection. They're like, well, I've known both of you, and I didn't know you would. I didn't even know y'all were going to come. And well, we come through these other people over here, and it just blows your mind. You start going, wow, I didn't know you knew them. In the end, we just all connected. We may not realize it, but we're connected, even across the world. We don't know the connection, but it's there. Praise God for it. So yeah, I watched the Indy 500 yesterday. Wow. Unfortunately, had a lot, some rain, a lot of caution laps, some wrecks, but the racing was absolutely exhilarating. Closest Indy 500 ever, 0.02, I think, at the end. Anybody could have won that, and it looked like anybody would. I mean, you just didn't know who was going to, win the thing, and it was fascinating. I didn't have a favorite driver. I was kind of rooting for a couple of different ones, but exhilarating. The Coke 600, Daniel Suarez. He just was in the right place at the right time. Took some gambles at the end. Rain hit right at the right time. He did stay out. He could have lost the lead on those few laps they ran before the rain hit again. But shout out to him, and a big remembrance for Kyle Busch, and there's a lot of emotions. But that's a big win for him. However you win it, you win. You win. You're the winner. And there was only a handful of laps left. I think maybe 6 or 8, if that many. But the rain had hit in such a force, they were never going to get it back in. Other rain possibly coming behind it, so they called it. And it was already late. I mean, like around midnight or something, close to it, when they did announce the winner. I think it was just before midnight. It was a great race. And that had great racing as well. So 1,100 miles of racing. Get your feel. I didn't watch any baseball yesterday, but I did keep up with a few scores. The Braves lost, but they still have the best record in baseball. We'll kind of catch up on that tonight. It was really a lazy daisy kind of day. I went to church. We had a storm hit us last night. I didn't go back. I just told them I wasn't going to come up. I wasn't going to leave and come to the mountain. We got hit. We were in a tornado warning, and I mean we had massive downpour, lightning. It's pretty bad. So I don't think it hit where the church was at as much. We're getting some rain again. It just, when I said that, it started raining a little bit because we're kind of in that every day has chances. So, but yeah, it was coming down. My sister said, "I hope you're not getting out in this." I said, "No." I told him I'll see him next service. I wasn't scheduled to preach, so people was like, "You should push through." Well, it's smart, and then there's dumb. It was pretty bad. I didn't think we were going to have our driveway. It started water washing down into our from across the road. It was rough, and we've had that happen for 2 or 3 days. We went to Scottsboro the other day. It was a lot of rain, so it's just we're getting a lot of that. We went dry for so long. Now we're in the rainy season. We're going to get a lot of rain, and we need it. It's been some of the rivers, lakes, and all creeks have been very low. Lower than people have seen them in a long time, several years. So getting some rain, we need that. So maybe not too hard, steady rain. Hopefully the rest of the week will be like that. We'll return to work tomorrow. I don't know that we will do our racing show tomorrow night since today is a holiday, but I will be on tonight at some point. with Chesa and a full schedule of shows this week. So hopefully it won't get too heavy while I'm back here. We got knocked off the air Saturday after our third show. We came on and we did about 30 minutes. Totally lost Wi-Fi. Totally lost it. And we got it back, and then it crashed again. And then we waited a little bit. We just ended that show, then came back in with a total different show on TikTok, and we had no problems. But yeah, we were getting rain that morning too. It was heavy. So hopefully you're getting it where you're at. We don't need that to just be local. And I think the southwest to southeast, pretty much has gotten a lot of rain. I don't think anybody escaped that too much. It could be pockets, but those bands of storms were from the Gulf all the way up into the Midwest and came up the East Coast. So I think a lot of people got a lot of rain. So we'll see. The president is touting Ken Paxton, in the runoff for the governor, or excuse me, not governor, but the Senate seat in Texas. So he's also endorsing Tom Masterson for the Kansas governor. So some of the people he's promoting, giving his name to. I was looking to see. We had the announcement of the late last week about the relaxation of the EPA rules on refrigeration. There were some people at the White House who run Piggly Wigglies. I've shopped at Piggly Wigglies before. I like the pig. They were happy. They said it would help them. They haven't transitioned over, and the cost was going to be pretty staggering and hard to them, and that they appreciate it was really help. They're not as big of an operator. There are a lot of stores, and it's a great business, but they don't run the volume that some of those would do. So it was probably good for them. You're good on the rain. Grass is growing too fast. I mean, the weeds. Thankfully, my son got mine down before it got bad, because it's getting a lot of rain right now, and it'll grow fast. So we'll have to jump on it. We got plenty of weeds that got down too. We kind of got, with everything that's been on. We said we were going to do it over the winter, cut down some things before they bloomed, and we didn't. And now we just have to handle it. So it is what it is. I saw Marco Rubio yesterday, and with the Indian leader and one of the leaders. Anyway, it was a long press conference. I watched a lot of it. They're in alignment on things. Let's see. That was his role, Rubio, to strengthen the alliance. It looked to be pretty strong. I've never traveled the world. I've been to Mexico. I've never traveled around the world. I think, and this is not meant to be a put down of any people, but systems. And I get that's a big gig to be able to go in these countries and meet with leaders, or to be an ambassador, or be something like that, or even just a tourist. But there's a lot of places I would go. It would really bother me. And India is one of those that would bother me. The reason I was saying, now I would go preach there. I would do that all day long. But, and it's like this in a lot of countries, this caste system. And some would say we have had that in America, and maybe at times we have. But still in America, you can still be whatever you want to be. Nobody tells you when you're born you can only be a welder or this or that. And there you do. I remember someone that traveled a lot, I won't say the name, was in India for business. And the waiter or waitress, I think it was a waiter, came, and they thanked the waiter for their service or something. And the guy was sitting there said, "Oh, don't do that. That's their role. That's what they are in life. They will never rise above that. They're cast into that. Their family, all of them, they're servants. That's all they will ever be. They will never rise above that. Think about that. That's horrible." And of course, they would look and say, "Well, it worked for us," or whatever. And I probably look at things we do and say that's horrible. But I'm saying on a human level, that's horrible. Because with God, all things are possible. You can be whatever you want to be, and it's in God's will. You can be that. And hard work and education and stick-to-itiveness and all those things to be told, and Europe does a lot of this. They'll put you in schools. They do a test on you. They say, well, all you can ever be is all you can ever be is, a mechanic, or there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to be. But maybe I want to do more. Maybe I want to, and I just think that's horrible. The pig closed in Athens and in Hartsville. I didn't know that, which I haven't been down there in a bit. It's tough. The food, the grocery stores, that margin is so thin, and but sometimes they have to charge a little more, because and that's how they big boys put them out of business. There's their market, and I can see that happening in Athens. Their market is small town. If they can get in a small town, they're usually pretty good. I was doing that way back. Still, we're going to get back out there and do that. I just did it. I didn't even ask them. I did an info for the Decatur Diner. I've ate there many times. Love the owner. I knew the previous owner, but I love current ownership. And wonderful people. And I did a like a little promo for the restaurant one day, right outside their restaurant, and put that out there. It got a lot of hits. People say I love the place, or if I'm in the area, I'll stop in. Well, I had a lady, and sometimes I guess I don't know if she ever watches. Maybe she does, but she works at the pig store, Pig Wiggly, up there in Spring City, Tennessee. She said, "Hey," she replied in the comments. She said, "Hey, you need to come up here at Pig Wiggly, Spring City, and try my fried chicken up here. I work in the deli." I said, "Well, I will." So we went up there. Me, my wife. I don't think anybody's. Well, my granddaughter was staying with her mom. We visited her on the way because she was up in Decatur. So you go up above Decatur, Tennessee, running to Spring City. Beautiful drive. And we did all that. And we interviewed people. We talked to people, gave them a card, and we got them to come into the show. It was either that night or the next night. I think it was that night. And we got a couple people from the store to come in and talk for a few minutes, and it was a big deal. We tried to set up some things with Piggly Wiggly, other place, and different franchise owner own different stores. And that guy said, "Well, we pay a company to do all that," and they would feel funny about it. This store didn't care, and it wasn't really even store leadership. I just wanted the people who were the workers anyway. I wasn't trying to get the official Piggly Wiggly business or anything like that. It was a free, and I get somebody that's paying. But nobody can stop you from talking to people, and that's what we did. And I was thinking to myself before my wife got sick, I was thinking we need to go back up there, and do a follow up, because there were some other things, and we highlighted several things in that city, and that's been our intent with part of what we call the Wolf Nation Network, is to go out and highlight businesses and churches and stuff when we go into a community like that, and go around and do little short videos of the place and historical, and maybe it's architecture or whatever, and do that, and people like to see that. I had someone else that say, "Hey, that's my city," or "I live right outside of that city." It makes them feel good. They like that. I mean, who wouldn't? It's your city. You're like, "I've stood there, I've been there, we go there," or "I grew up there," and that's kind of fun. So that's pretty cool to do that. But I hate to know they close, because that's workers, and a lot of times in a place like that, it's going to be some family. They've probably been working there a good long time. The younger people are going to probably grow up and get different jobs. You have a lot of older people that are been working there, and it's kind of their career. It's like I say, it's a small town, and that's pretty cool. So I'm hoping that one's still up there. I hope it's not closed. But they said that would be a relief to them, so hopefully it will be. The pig in there was sketchy, to say the least. Well, there are, in Athens can be that. As much as I like Georgia football, Athens they have crime, and it's there. The city I went to was very small town, very friendly. You just didn't feel that. They might have had everybody has drug problems and stuff, but I didn't feel like it was a small town, like nothing like Athens. So, you see the main part of town, and you drive a quarter mile and half mile most in any direction. you've pretty much plotted the area, and then you break. Okay, that's the city. Now let's go in and start talking to people and stuff. So there were a couple places I missed when I was up there. I wanted to go back. One of the videos I didn't turn out. Happened. I just messed up on the video, and I was trying to hurry because traffic was really heavy, and I was wanting to go back and fix that because I like the place where I was at. I just messed it up. It happens, and so we're going to do that. That's what me and Biscuit Boy were doing, and we're going to get back to that. So we may, because I work on Saturday afternoons, we may have to, because that's a good day for us to go do some of that. And we may have to, we may go live from that area and then do a bunch of videos, and I would have to leave. So while as I'm working on Saturday. So that's just a good day for me and him to do that. So we're going to get back to our Saturday morning lives from location. And we may start that this week, actually, if the weather plays along. If the weather's pretty. If it's not, we'll be in the studio. If not, we're going to go out. And we may broadcast from Civil War Battlefield. We talked about that maybe being the next one we do. So we'll see. That'd be a great backdrop, being there. And we've got everything set up and ready to go that we need to do that with. They had a police that sat in front of the pig in Athens because wow. That's sad, man. I hate that. Athens is a great town. It's sad that they have that kind of crime. You know? I had a lady pull in the place I do security on Saturday. And she was traveling through. She was on her way to Hot Springs, Arkansas to soak in the springs. Then they were headed to Waco. And she said, "Can I park and sleep here for a while? I just need to get a few hours." That's why I can't tell you that you can. That's beyond my right to do. I said, "Now, this is what would happen if you stayed, and potentially they might come knock on your door and tell you to get up, move, or tow your car." And she said, "Well, I don't want anybody knocking on my door. That would freak me out." So she said, "I'm not going to stay." But she asked me, she said, "Is this a good area to stay anyway?" And I said, "No, it's not. And it really isn't." And so she was naming off different areas, and every area she'd say, I'd be like, "That's not really a good area either." I felt bad for her. And I said, well, I gave her a place that she could probably go, and it'd be very lit up, like tell the clerk or whatever that you're going to be there for a little bit. And most times they'll just say, "Sure, no problem." And she was armed, we'll say that. But she said, "I don't feel like shooting anybody. I'd rather just not have to deal with that." But it's sad. I was thinking, I asked some people at church this: if you were traveling and you were not wanting to, you maybe just saving the money or didn't have the money to stay in motels along the way, and you just maybe you did at times, but you wanted to save a few bucks and you were just going to sleep in your vehicle if you didn't have a little pull behind, even if you did have the camper. Where do you go that you don't have to pay money or you're going to get run off? That used to be a big thing. People would sleep in their vehicle on the sides of roads and stuff. It was very common. Nowadays, shoot, even if you're packing, they're going to be on you pretty quick. There's roving bands of not just one or two. They may come as a group and overpower, and they caught you off guard. There's not a lot of places to feel comfortable. I used to hit rest areas. I did this, but I hit rest areas. And I knew which ones had at least some living, breathing security. If they didn't have security, I would park near the trucks, the 18-wheelers, not getting in their way, but as close to them as I could get. And usually most people aren't going to be messing around with the truckers are, unless they're really stupid. So I didn't have any problems, but if there was security, I would pull as close to the guard check where they're at as I could. In fact, right in front of it if I could. I'd make sure they saw me, they knew I was in that car. Then I would put up my things so people ain't looking in on you. And then I would rest for a couple hours and get up and move on. Usually if I can get an hour or two, I'm good for many hours of driving. Just not to sleep off some. So, but there are some places, there's no way I would stay there at night. There was one outside of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And they had security, but it was way up inside the place. And the guy looked like he was about 90. I'm not exaggerating. And he was asleep when I went in there. And there was nobody in the parking lot, dark parking lot, no lights, very few. I mean, it was very dark, but you had to go up these big steps to get up there. And me and my wife said, I got to go to the bathroom. And we got a car pulled up while we were coming up there. And I'm like, crap, I had a lot of electronics and stuff, computers and stuff in the car. So I wanted to take care of her. And it said they had security. So I thought, well, okay. I walked her up there because it was dark. And I thought, well, I'll stand outside and keep an eye on the car. There'll be security there. And I'll just come back and get you. I'll step back up and get you. Well, when I got up there and seen he was asleep, and I woke him up, and he kind of milled around. I thought, well, at least I'll get him moving. And in the car, these guys, well, they just looked so sketchy. Two of them came up, and two of them stayed in the car. And I'm like, great. I got Mr. Rogers that looks like he's 90 up here in his little, sweater. He's not going to be able to tackle anybody or do anything. And I've got two down the car. They could be working as a team here to break into my car, steal the car. There's all kinds of things could happen. maybe even rob us. So I made sure that I let them guys know I was watching the car, but I had to stay there, with my wife and watch these guys, make sure they went in the right bathroom and all that crap. And then thankfully she come out. I talked to the guard when they come up. I made a big scene, not crazy scene, but a lot of noise. Like we had been carrying on a conversation for a while. I made sure he was good and alert. He did have a gun on, thank goodness. And he got up and walked around and stuff. And I was pointing out the parking lot or something. Got him to look out there so that these guys would see security. They didn't know, and I don't know if they were up to bat or not, but my gut was telling me it just wasn't a good situation. So it was creepy. Those rest areas can be some of the creepiest things. And when we were coming out of Ohio one time, we was just before Cincinnati. We stopped at one. It was welded up, lots of people coming in and out. And my wife says, I'm good, and she wouldn't go if she was worried. I was use the bathroom, I'm good. It was, they had security, had workers, but doggone it, the person who was working and cleaning in there was sketchy. Kind of freaked my wife out, He's like, he was saying weird stuff, but there were a lot of people there. So I used to have rest areas with barbecue to cook out and tables to eat and running water. Yeah. I think here in our area, they have tried to put some like that. They've redone several. But some of the ones you see, there are hotbeds for people to steal, pedophiles, other just weird freaks, drug use. I mean, it's, weird, prostitution, obviously. You think of the old truck stop, and they've moved to rest areas, and that's sad. I'll tell you another place that's bad for a lot of that is, at least for some of it, and that's where you go fishing, where you drop, back down the boat ramp. That's an area for a lot of freaks. I don't fish anymore, but I've had friends who have boats, and they talk about places they just won't drop in anymore. I mean, they're overran with freaks. If you go early in the morning, you might be one or two fishermen. One drops in, he's gone, and then you're sitting there trying to get yours in, and there's all these freaks running around there. And some of them, there's all sorts of weird, and it's within range of my home here. There's, we'll just say weird sexual stuff. We'll just say it that way because it basically encompasses everything. And it's sad. I mean, places that you should be, our tax dollars providing for us. That it's a place that we could camp, or a place that we could, rest a while, a place we could drop into the river or creek or whatever, lake, and you have people like that, and it just messes it up for everybody. And hopefully, if they have security, they've hired good security. Brother Jerry, good morning, brother. Hope you're doing well this Memorial Day. We had a wonderful service. And we are the memory of many who gave their life in defense of this country and other countries in the pursuit of freedoms and happiness. I'm very tired after cooking. I bet Thursday and Friday I had people in all day picking up orders. Had one yesterday, and the last one's supposed to come today. I've got a little bit to deliver today that I will be thinking about when, and we'll see the rest of that in a minute, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm glad you got a bunch of orders up, though. I know it's a lot of work, but I know people getting some great food, you make a little bit off of that, and that's a good thing, and it's good food. I mean, people need to make orders with you. I mean, dude's making some Brunswick stew. I'm not a fan, but there's a lot of people are. But I'm a fan of all that meat and stuff he's cooking. I like that. I mean, I could eat Brunswick stew. I've had it. It's not like I hate it, but I'm not really into it. But I know I saw many of your videos, and little short videos where he was prepping or getting ready or starting or in the process of, and it is a big process. For long, Jerry's going to have the 100-gallon vat. Or several of them. He's going to be hiring workers to work for him, and they'll do the work. Jerry will do he'll be the foreman, the manager, and this will become a everyday thing. There's a guy here, at least he does Wednesday through Saturday, something like that, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can't hardly get in the place. They have the best brisket, man. Oh my gosh. I get the brisket, man. But he comes around all the tables. He does a lot of events and stuff, some for charity, and it's amazing. I remember as a kid stopping at rest stops, and we would eat a picnic and rest while we were traveling down the 70s. Didn't think nothing about it, man. I mean, it was like that was what you did. And then a lot of people just turned into freaks or evil or whatever, and they took over places like that, or they frequent places like that. Jerry says he has a large brisket I'm going to smoke tomorrow. Oh man, this guy, when you go to his store restaurant, I get the sides, but honestly, the sides they're fine. Same as anywhere. They're good, not bad, nothing to write home about. But they do. Watchmen, sodomites go in the bathroom. It's horrible. But when he's got that block of wood, he puts that brisket on there, and it's just dripping with juices, and he slices in, dude. And he'll take and just take his big old butcher's knife or whatever. He's just dousing that brisket with that juice it's been cooked in. Oh my gosh, man. And you can get it on a sandwich too, or you can just get it with the sides. Oh my gosh, man. And it just falls apart. It's so tender. And I got so full. It's more than you really should eat at one sitting. Some people take theirs home. I didn't. Well, actually, I take that back. I did, because my acid reflux was bothering me a little bit. So I did. But man, that's some good stuff right there, the old brisket, man. Man, that's good stuff. Yeah, I think, and nowadays with the bathrooms, Watchman, I mean, wherever you go, the first time it wasn't the bathroom, and they finally closed our little, what do you call it, CC's Pizza. I used to like to go in there. You get a decent salad, and I eat a little bit of pizza too, and the kids liked it. We were there, my granddaughter, I think I had two granddaughters with me. And I saw these guys come through the door, and they looked like death warmed over, honestly. And they never even stopped. I knew they were up to no good. They were going table to table asking for money. And I grabbed the kids, and because they were moving fast, I just pulled the kid. I made the kids sit on the other side of me, and I just waited on this idiot to show up. And I said, the idiot. And he come up there, and he started his little thing. I said, let me just stop you right here. I said, you get away from me and my family. I said, you don't have no right being in here doing this. You know you're wrong, and I'm telling the manager. But I said, whatever. And he acted like he was going to flex up. And I said, hey, let's go. I got two grandkids here. I said, I'll drop you, bro, like a rock. I said, I'm willing to fight right now and drop you to the point of death if that's what it takes. Are you ready? And he took off. I mean, they were high. They look bad. I know that somebody's can listen. When the freak comes at with my kids, and one of them did go in the bathroom. I thought that's what it was at first. Like they were just creepy. And I went and got the manager, and he went and got he was waving them out as he thanked me for letting him know, because sometimes they get busy. Ernest says he loves CC's, but I always try the best to avoid using public. Well, I do too. What happens is you got kids and they say I got to go to the bathroom, Paul. So I'll go, and my granddaughter loves it that I stand outside the door and I guard the door. And when the women come and I nod my head and they look at me kind of weird, but I'll just say, granddaughter, they got it, like, respect that, and I'm just looking for those that might be not the lady, you know what I mean? And, yeah, lavatories on planes. I always tell the granddaughter, clean the seat, wash your hands, all the stuff we tell them. I like that Bavarian cream pizza, CC's. There's another place, and I don't know if it's still there. It's down in Cartersville. It's called Stevie B's, and it's a lot like CC's, but some of their pizza offerings were a little different. The same as, but they had some different ones that CC's didn't offer. And I had the experience of going there a couple of times when I was going down, Brother Jerry, down to the Bible college. I think Dr. Kersh, took me there one time, and we went down there, and I took my family back down there. Stevie B's, you ever been there, brother? But those cinnamon rolls, man, are, oh man, so nice, so nice. But I'm a fan, I'd rather go there than some of the pizza places, to be honest. Unfortunately, they started going downhill. They didn't keep them up. They got a little seedy, a little dirty. The games were broken. It just wasn't the same. We still have one in the area we go to. Some people bought it, and I've talked to them, and it got a lot better, so we don't mind going there. But it quit becoming a family type thing. It become a freakazoid type place. I hate to say it, but it's true. During COVID, I'll never forget that I was in this other one, and there was a guy come in, people with a mask. There was a dude that come in this one. He had some kind of look like military grade Marine tank on his head. It freaked me out a little bit. I didn't know what was up. We were nearing to be done, and I saw the guy coming in. I told my wife, I said, if I tell you to go, and I told the kids, I said, you go with your grandma and you get to the car. And I told my wife to don't look back. I said, this guy may be up to no good. I mean, you don't know. I said, he could be using this as a screen. I mean, I'm talking like, not just the mask. I'm talking like something that went over his whole head. And it had a hose coming out of it. He was carrying something, I guess, oxygen or something connected to that. But he could have had a gun in a bag or anything. I thought, what the heck is this? He had to write down what he wanted. He couldn't hear him. You couldn't see him. He had little bitty eye holes. You could not see anything else but his eyes. And he looked freaky. That's the wildest thing I've ever seen come in a restaurant ever. And that happened during that time. And I wasn't even wearing no mask. I'm like, what the heck is that? I remember entering Portland, Oregon's Union Station when my train arrived from Seattle, and I instantly came out without using the back restroom. It was just an awful stench. Yeah. Gretsch Guitars and Drum Founder's son has a barbecue joint. Gretsch's Barbecue. He does a good brisket. It's just out of Athens toward Covington. I need to try that. I need to try Gretsch Guitars and Drum Founder's son. Gretsch Barbecue. I did not know that, dude. That's pretty cool. We're going to take a road trip or two. We'll go down there. That's not too awful far from me. I mean, it's probably a couple hours, maybe slightly more. Not too bad. Maybe you saw an alien. No, I will tell you what I say. I would be willing to accept the idea. What I saw was a freak. From I better not say that. I'm gonna get in trouble. Somebody where I work might not like it. I'll just watch my mouth sometimes. People are always listening to try to get you in trouble. It wasn't a top of Alien, I guess you could say, but they're around us a lot. I'll say that. There's a Stevie B's in Athens. It's a lot better than CC. Well, that's what I thought when I went the first time. This for CC's had kind of come down in my area. I mean, it just got kind of bad. That Stevie B's had a much bigger selection, and it was honestly, I think the pizza was a little better. Not just that you got more different types, you got it was just better pizza. It was a bigger place too. A lot of this place was really big. You know, CC's kind of narrow and long, a little rectangle. This was more of a square box place, still in a shopping center, but it was just built different. I have seen one CC's down in Dalton. That was the biggest one I've ever been in. It seemed to be a nice one. At least a handful of years ago, went there. I need to see. I need to look it up and see if that Stevie B's is still down there. I don't think my kids have ever been there. My grandkids, I think they'd still like to make the journey. So that would be cool. Um, but yeah, I you know I think overall, and we get older. They say that you get older, you don't think that some of the stuff tastes good anymore because you really. I mean, I know it's not good for you. But I'm kind of a connoisseur of a couple of things when I go to places, and I like to try different ones. One is a hamburger steak, and you say it's just hamburger steak. No, there's a lot of variation, and I like to. The country fried steak is another one. I like to try those. I like to try somebody's hamburger, and I like to try different pizzas when I go in an area, and I try to find local. I'm not talking about chains. When I go there, I want to try, the local restaurant that mom and pop, a business. They're known by everybody, kind of like this barbecue place you're talking about. And I like to try that stuff, just to see if I like it or not. And I just got to say, here recently I've had, I don't mind saying the name, Pizza Hut, Domino's, of course, Little Caesars, and what's the other one? Not Godfathers. What is that? What is that other one? I used to like some Godfathers. Anyway, it's not the right one. And some of them are a little better than others. And I'm not going to rank them right now, but I think for all of them, it has went down some. It's not what it used to be. And I was telling somebody yesterday that Pizza Hut, I think they've done over 100 stores. They're trying to open back up their traditional Pizza Huts, not these little box stores where you can come in and buy a pizza or have one or two tables there. The real experience of a restaurant and freak on freak on a leash. Dude, I saw a video like that the other day. I'm gonna tell you, I don't care where I'm eating. If somebody comes in and they've got somebody on the ground that's on a leash pretending they're a dog or whatever, or it's some sort of weird sexual thing, I'm out. I'm not staying in a place that will let that in the door. I'm not. I expect them to forthwith tell those people to leave. You're not welcome here. It's not acceptable. If they let that in, I'm out. I'm not, it's not funny, but it cracks me up when you said it because I just thought about if I was in a place like that. Stevie B's makes their own dough. CC's is pre-made dough. That's good to know. Maybe that would go a long way. When I worked at the pizza place, Pizza Inn, I worked at a Pizza Inn. We made our own dough, and it was great. That pizza was great. Now, the only one I didn't like that we made, they did this stuffed pizza that I thought was too doughy. I don't like a lot of dough anyway. I like a little bit, but not a lot. And it was just too much dough. And we didn't get it ordered a lot, but some people would order it. But their standard pizza was really good. Believe it or not, and we said this on the air the other day, I think. I like because I do eat some frozen pizzas, not good for you, but occasionally, Red Baron, whatever. But those Hunt Brothers, you can find in stores, even hospital cafeterias. They'll have that little oven you put them through. Those are actually not bad. They're not bad. They're not frozen, and they have fresh ingredients, and it's not a bad pizza. I tried one here just recently at at a hospital. It's a new. It's not a new hospital, but it's a new in their chain of hospitals. Uh, Marcio's Pizza is the most greasy pizza I ever ate. I don't even know where that's at. Marcio's. I don't like a lot of grease. I gotta say, as I've gotten older, that bothers my stomach. Um, so I don't want it. I don't want it dry though. There's a fine line there. You know, a fine line. I was asking Biscuit Boy this on the way back from Scottsboro the other day, and um, where do you find a really good taco? Now, I don't like a lot of frills. I like a straight on meat and cheese kind of taco, maybe a couple other things in there. But where do you find a good taco these days? Because I think that's went down as well. There are some places I still think do good, but I don't go to them enough to be able to tell people where to go. We make them at home. Right at the entrance to Mount Dora is Pizza Amore, and we always ate there when we were visiting Mount Dora. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, Marcio's. I used to see in Orlando near our house, but never ate there. Little Italy downtown Athens is the best pizza in Georgia. In your opinion, they import New York City tap water for the pizza crust and bread for the subs. There's the cheese stick place or cheese sandwich place in Atlanta. That chain they fly their bread in fresh every day from Philly on Delta, and it's fresh every day, guaranteed. There's some places that do some stuff like that. There's a cookie that's made in certain places. It's all made fresh every day. They dump it out at the end of the day. I'm sure they have to figure out how much they're gonna need, and when it's gone because they get rid of it. They may give it away to places for the hungry, homeless or whatever. They may not throw it away, but they're not going to sell it again because they want it fresh every day. So when you see they're big cookies, I mean like this big around. I don't know what they cost now. They used to be $1.75 for one cookie, and that's been years ago. And I would nibble on the way home. It was so moist. Oh my gosh, it was so good. But yeah, that's always the best when you get that kind of care in the ingredient. It's all in the ingredients. Yes, in the preparation. I was watching a video. You said New York City, it reminded me. There was somebody did a video of some business, and I forget what they sell, some kind of sandwiches or something. And they showed one of the workers on his break smoking a cigarette, and he's got his other hand scratching his butt, and he's shaking hands, and he goes back in, and they say they don't wear gloves in this place. And he was like, there's no way I'm eating at this place anymore. Guys just digging for gold, I could even say. Home, let's see. We once ordered Bronx pizza in Orlando, and it was so hard. My sister joked we should repair the floor with it. Home Run Inn pizza, frozen pizza is the best frozen pizza hands down. Home Run Inn. I've never had that. I don't know if they even sell it in my area, but I'll look. I'll take that challenge. I will take that challenge. Not that you made a challenge, but you said, hands down, it's the best. I'm going to try. I'm going to see. I probably will go to the store today. I'll look and see at least one. We'll see if it's there. I may do a little search and see if it's sold in the area, so I don't search all over town. Utilize the tools and resources we have before we do go run up. Yeah, I remember we used to do that before the internet. You'd call places, but you'd run all over town. If you couldn't get them on the phone, you'd run all day looking for one or two things. Lost Plebs in Athens on North Avenue. Best tacos you'll ever eat. Lost Plebs. Okay. Sounds like I'm about to go to Athens and Covington, yeah. What would half of America eat? What would half of America eat if Italy had not invented pizza? Wow. Yeah, if there was no pizza, wow. Pizza and hot dogs rules the world, or at least the USA, right? But that's I mean, like you talk about a true foot long or a slaw dog, or it's hard to beat. Like New York, Philly, Chicago. But there are some places in the South they come very close because they're actually from there and they have the business and they know what's in it, so they fly their stuff in. So it may not be exactly the same, but it's probably pretty close. Does anyone know what Native Americans eat? Well, I guess it would depend on the Native American because some of them I saw they definitely liked Marlboros. At least the ones I saw up in put on the little shows up in the mountains when they weren't on the stage doing the traditional dance. You know, a couple of them were sharing some Marlboros. So I don't know about eating, but it looked like to me they probably had some had gotten into the grain already, if you know what I mean. They just, you know, I think for those they were Native Americans, but they were just putting on the outfits. It was for the show, tourist trap. But hey, I don't blame them. Man, they do have the oh, what is it, casino up there at Los Plebs. Is it's the real deal. You can get tacos made with tongue stomach. People out of tongue stomach. What? I don't want something too real, dude. I guess I'm ignorant. I don't know what. I would hope that I've never had tongue stuff. I'm not sure about that, dude. You had me going there, but I just I just had to take the exit on this one. I can't do that. Yes, we have an Ingles. Okay, well, that's not far from me. I get out running around today. I'll stop. Pepperoni and sausage. I like that. So I do. I haven't been in Ingles in a little bit. It's not far away, but it's in a land not too far away. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Ernest. What is this? He just he just took my taco and took it to a whole other level that I wasn't even planning on. Yeah, what animal? Tongues. Oh, Biscuit Boy, where are you? Biscuit Boy. Oh yeah, I've had that. It's good. Oh, he may not be out of bed. He might have got up in the middle of the night. Tongue stomach. That's funny. Good Lord. As you can tell, I don't go. I don't go. Hey, history post. I don't go. Let me take it back. Let me clarify. I have went to um, big game dinners, but I don't try everything there. Uh, you know, wild game. Go wild game suppers or some call them big game, wild game. I'm not really a person who likes to push the envelope too much, not much at all. So I'll eat deer and I would eat buffalo and I would eat. I did try some hippo. I'm not really into that. But they had a lot of weird. I say weird. I just ain't eating it. You can read the ingredients on Home Run Pizza box in one sentence: flour, milk, cheese, tomatoes, herbs, meat. Nice. It's beef. You're saying, but I mean that's that's a part of the beef that I don't want that part. Jerry's probably out there. He's out there tilling the ground or something, or drinking his morning. He's probably already had a pot of coffee. Yeah, okay. The tongue is a little. I don't need it. I just want to have whatever is cooked. Hey Barry, I don't want something that's. Sometimes explanations don't need to go any further. They have steak, ground beef, chicken. Okay, got you. Sometimes I don't need to know any more than what I know. Yeah, I know tongue, stomachs. I mean, I just want the beef part. Ugh. You know what? You shouldn't have told me that part. I'd have tried it and said, this is great tacos. Or maybe I wouldn't. Everybody's a little different. I'm not criticizing. Everybody's a little different. Uh, I mean, I get it. Back in the day, you ate what was put on the table. Worst part about pizza is the carbs, Barry says. Yeah, I am trying to watch things, and I did eat some pizza last night, and I was watching. Things didn't get out of hand or anything, but I've really been trying to watch. I'm what all I'm doing with watch my sugar and all that. So and carbs and cow tongue is primo in Mexican food. Okay, well I took a mission trip to Mexico, and there were foods there. Me and my wife both. They looked at us like we were nuts. Uh, no, that's the good part of pizza. British eat stomachs, haggis. Ugh. Who ordered the stomach? We got the tongue. Barry, I really like fresh chini, or how do you say that? Bread with garlic, butter, onions, and several vegetables on it. It's like a vegetable pizza. Tastes really good. And muffins, corn cakes, pastries, and cookies. Now that all sounds good, Ernest. Long live carbs. We're here for the carbs. When you roll up the place and they put the big old bib on you, you know it's not going to be Weight Watchers afternoon. They give you a big old knife and a big old fork and a bib. There's going to be some eating going on. And they bring around in buckets. There's some restaurants how they bring around in a bucket, silver, shiny bucket, bucket of mashed potatoes, bucket of this, bucket of that. You know it's going to be good. Watchman says he makes his own pizza with medium bread, real cheese, and Rails garlic sauce. It's really good. Barry, something really good is fresh jalapenos cut in half, stuffed in cream cheese, sprinkle cheddar on top, and bake it. $3.50 for 20 minutes. Oh, and I got to go eat breakfast after this. I was like, oh. I get it. It's good for you, man. That's a little, I don't like that. Well, I once ate vegan pizza at Oakland Airport in Cali, and it was just great. It had no cheese, but some kind of oil. Interesting. Ernest, you sound like you've done some world traveling. That's cool. I will say that when you travel, if you don't mind. I mean, I know people, and they tell me I've not tried anything yet that I wouldn't eat. Like they may say it's not my favorite, but I'll eat it. Doesn't bother me. I've got friends. They've got an iron stomach. They'll eat anything. They don't care. I can't do that. I can't. There's things I just cannot eat. I can't do it. And it would mess me up, especially at my age now. I would suggest the steak burrito from Los Plebs and the red and green sauce. Okay. The steak burrito. I do like steak burritos now. I like what did I get when I go to the my brain is still so fuzzy. When I go to the Mexican restaurant, I usually order the oh my gosh, fajitas. I love the fajitas, the steak fajitas. I'll eat the chicken too, but I like the steak fajitas. Your worst travel eating experience was in Los Angeles airport. I don't doubt it. That place freaked me out. I was there in 1982. Never again. Thank the Lord. Good Lord, that's a city that's a city in of itself right there. Almost zero choice and so overpriced. Well, that's a lot of them now. I'm sure it's worse there, but They lock you into the area. You can't leave. You're stuck for hours, and they make you, um, they make you eat, or if you want to eat, I mean, that's what you do. Barry says, I'm going to experiment with Jiffy cornbread mix, add an egg and a third cup of milk, and then chop up zucchini and broccoli and dip it in the mix, then bake. Okay. That's not a bad experiment there. I think you'd probably come out pretty good on that. Sounds similar to what I've heard other people do. Not exact, but similar. Make my own veggie bites. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a vegetarian. I love meat. I'm just cutting corners. Hey, I understand, man. Meat's high. I told my wife before she passed, it's like the sacrilege thing. I'm like, just so you know, we don't have to have meat at every meal. And we did kind of do that. We got to where there's a lot of vegetables and stuff. It's just so expensive, man. And Minneapolis Airport charged me a hospitality tax on top of everything. That's also a new deal in 2023. Jiffy cornbread is blasphemous. Well, I was thinking it. I wasn't going to say it. I figured somebody would throw it out there. I was going to just be the host here. But when he said Jiffy, I went, uh-oh. If I mention Jiffy at my church, they all turn and look at me like I have 3 heads and they're all spinning. I did that one day on purpose. I said, y'all ever make any of that sweet cornbread out of Jiffy mix? And they just had this slow turn. And it was kind of like this. They've never forgotten it. And I still don't know what is a hospitality tax. They just handed me a sub at the window. Is that considered hospitality? A crock pot full of pinto beans. Oh, now that sounds good, Barry. Cornbread and onions, and yes, Jiffy cornbread is simple, but it's quick and easy. It is simple and quick. But I don't think it's like that complicated to make some good cornbread. But I was telling Kaylee the other day, I said, we need to put some beans in the crock pot. So I think I'm going to start cooking like a Sunday dinner. We've been eating on the go a lot. We eat at home, but we eat on the go a lot too. So with everything that's happened, we're kind of settling in. And she's a funny eater too, so she will eat white beans, pinto beans, stuff like that, which I'm thankful for. She's getting a little better about some of it. And let me guess, you're not putting that in the iron skillet, Barry? That would be in the Teflon or the little bread loaf container. Real cornbread is easy as it gets. Good cornmeal, buttermilk, stir it up, put a greased iron skillet. Yeah, that's all there is. That's what I'm saying, Watchman. That's not a difficult chore. I mean, I get it, Barry. I get it. You want simplicity, and maybe it's cheaper for you. I don't know. But yeah, that's Barry says 15 bean soup, wonderful. I used to get a chunk of ham. Oh yeah, Dollar Tree, especially for adding to the crock pot. Well, my wife would always say, we gotta have the stricken meat. Oh, my wife was a good cook, and I was blessed to have that. Now I'm looking at me and Kaylee, and we're so picky, and everybody's like, well, I can cook, but I can't cook like she could. I can just cook. She loved to cook. So there's a difference. Being able to and that's not really your gig is different than you can do it and you love to do it. There's a big difference. And that was the dividing line. I don't love to cook. I can do it, but I don't love it. She loved it. Pinto beans with country ham bits. Oh, yeah. I can make a meal off of that with some chow chow and cornbread. Yeah, I don't eat the chow chow, but I get it. A lot of people do. But, that's a meal in itself. Well, you got to have a slice of onion there, though. You missed that. And it's got to be a Vidalia onion, or it don't count. Seriously. If you're going to do it right, do it right. My wife was so big on, we go to Cracker Barrel or wherever we go. She'll say, can I get a slice of onion of that? And I say, well, I can bring you some diced onions. Is that okay? And she'd be like, and I would usually say, Well, if that's all you got, it'll do, but that's really sacrilege. A place that sells pinto beans and all this stuff, you don't have a slice of onion. They say, I know. I'm like, boy, Cracker Barrels went downhill. I'd say, I'm just kidding with you, but come on. Tell the boss we need to get a slice of onion. Uh, yeah, I've heard that in my church. Jiffy is sweet. That's called cake. That ain't cornbread. I'm not gonna lie now, Barry. I do like that yellow Jiffy. I've had it before. It is sweet. I do like it. I hadn't had it in a long time. My wife made it for me one time. I was, hey, that's pretty good. That's the thing I can't cook. That's why I like quick and easy meals like a crock pot. I still haven't been able to try the fresh pressed Georgia olive oil. I got to get some more from there. I think I have to order it. I don't think they have it up here. My wife loved it. We both liked it. We just ran out. I need to get some more. I really do like that. He can get back down there one day and do a follow up story because they were doing some things. And one of these days, if I'm traveling, I'm gonna see if we can set that up. You know, I'm gonna be in the area, might as well. And there's a couple things I'm gonna be traveling down for. So that's the thing. Vidalia onions is great, but you can't find those in the store hardly. The aroma of tomatoes would make a good hacky sack. Uh, you can up here. Sometimes they don't have them, but if you look around, you can. Um, and every once in a blue moon, who is it that puts out the what do they call it? Strawberry onions? Um, is that what it's called? Very tasty. What is Aldi's? I think they do that. Aldi's. The farmers market won't open until second week of June. Yeah, then you can get all kinds of stuff. Oh man, get you some corn, shuck it, cook all that up. Now we're talking, baby. Love that. Love that. Yeah. Barry, did you get moved? Did you get moved? I know you were moving. I hope all that's been taken care of. Find a butcher, have him sell you the bits from when he cuts up the country ham they have leftovers they sell cheap. That's a good idea. I have heard of people doing that. Forgot about it. Oh yeah, onion from Vidalia. Nothing like it, man. That's one of those. It's in the soil, man. I don't know how to explain it, but it is the best onion, and there's nothing like it. Sweet. Oh my gosh. I can really just eat the onion. I mean, slice it and just eat it. But when we would have pinto beans, me and my wife, we'd go overboard. We'd take a whole onion and we'd split it and just about eat all that. If I got full, I didn't, but I'd put some of it up in the fridge. We'd eat in the next meal. But I'd just grab them and pull them apart and eat them. You have a 5 pound bag of Vidalia right now. I will tell you that the Lions Club up here every year, if you can catch it just right, they go down to Vidalia and they buy them by the trailer load, and they make money off that. They offer it a good price, and it's I don't know if they still do it because those guys were getting older. Some of the younger ones weren't coming along to support that, but maybe they have. But one of those guys, he did that every year. Him and another guy, they would travel down there. They'd fill up the back of the trucks and the trailer or whatever, and they would come back with hundreds, if not a few thousand bags, and sell those by the droves for a little bit of money. I'd like try those strawberry onions. I don't know where to find them except Aldi's, and you only can find them at certain times. There's a friend of mine. She gave me some in a meal one day. And I was like, man, this is dang good. And she said, you gotta stay on top of it because they don't offer them all the time. I mean, when they come in, they come in, and when they're done, they're done. And I think there's 2 seasons to that, like 2 times when it really does. And you got to hit it then. And when it's gone, it's gone. So it's not an everyday thing. So good stuff, man. Talk about eating all that good stuff. I like it. It's here on this honored day when we honor the fallen and all that have served, especially the fallen. I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of them laying across Many, many, many cemeteries in Europe. God bless every one of them. You know, so much death. Somebody that didn't, somebody that came home injured, somebody that didn't make it home. Some we don't know where they're at. So our hearts go out to all those folks. God bless the military today. And hopefully a vet is getting a good meal somewhere for free today. I think a lot of places do that. Yeah, man, I got to go in a minute too. Got to go and wash my dog. I don't have. Well, I got a dog, but she wouldn't let me wash her. Only Kaylee can do that. You have a great day as well, my friend. And we all you, yeah, y'all amaze me with the stuff y'all come in with. That's what I like doing the show. I just sitting down with friends and listening to all those kind of stories and places and stuff. You never had it. I didn't even know it existed. Um, but she told me about them and brought me some once. She cut up, I think we was even eating out somewhere, but she cut up some for me to try. Mwah! Really good. If you like days, you'll love them. But like I said, I don't know what the deal is, but maybe they just don't. A lot of people don't grow them, or they're only grown. I think it's the season. I mean, a lot of people don't do it probably because they're only good a couple times a year, and so that's not. They're going to make their crop out of that. So somebody grows them, and I think that maybe it's kind of like a Vidalia. You can't just grow them anywhere. So I don't know the history on that. I never even heard of them until she said that. Miss Shirley Henson, God bless you. I think that's where, if I remember right, strawberry onion. Yeah, because I was like, strawberry onion. But, oh, man, really good. I hadn't had one in a long time. I need to start checking around. I just never go to Aldi's. I never have. I've never been in the store. My wife did. My son, but I've never been in an Aldi's. Never been there. So we'll see. Oh, we'll be back on this evening at some point. We'll definitely have PNN news. We'll talk about all the political, all the stuff overseas, whatever we can get into, and Wolf Nation Sports will definitely be tonight, and maybe music show. I need to do a music show. I have an ancestor that fought in Vietnam, Howard LeBron Cobal, who died in a helicopter crash with many others in Vietnam. God bless their memory, Barry. And we're losing a lot of Vietnam vets right now too, due to the time frame since it occurred, and they're dying every day, as well as Gulf War. But a lot of those Vietnam, God bless them, you know. But uh, Howard LeBron Cobal, we salute you, and there'll be many services and stuff at the national cemeteries around the country. The one in our town's filled up. I think they're going to start shipping them to a new one. They bought property, but it's not right here in town. So I don't think it's dead full yet. Not maybe the right word, but it's filling up. It's running out of space. A lot of veterans dying, you know. A lot of people who served. Boy, you know, helicopters in Vietnam was a dangerous job. They died by the droves. Pilots were hard to keep because so many pilots died on those helicopters. They were great at what they did, but they were, you know, kind of an easy target. You know, not like an Apache. I mean, these came in, you know, they just didn't have the same ability, and their armor was very thin, so they could fire up into there and kill the crew. And you know, I think the average. I heard this one time. I may be wrong, and I probably am, but something like 7 flights average. How do you get pilots when you order them? Strawberry onions are not a hybrid of strawberries and onions, but rather a variety of sweet onion traditionally grown in Plant City, Florida. I didn't know that. They're a major strawberry producing region. They're typically planted around the perimeter of the strawberry fields. I did hear that. I do remember that, them telling me that, and a natural pest deterrent due to their strong scent. These onions, often identified as Savannah hybrid or Vidalia varieties, are prized for their mild, sweet flavor, which lacks the sharpness of regular onions. I've had them, and I'm telling you, they are awesome. Awesome. And you're right. They don't, wherever you got that, they don't have that sharpness. Thank you for posting that. I really didn't know that. Yeah. Well, I was hoping somebody would. Uh, And I didn't realize it's Florida. I thought they were grown in Georgia. But it makes sense. It makes sense. But I'm telling you, if you get a chance to try it, it's just hard to capture. Like you said, they're around the perimeter, and so there's not as many of them. And you just catch them when you catch them. I guess you could maybe call them and ask them if they could tell you when, because people line up for this stuff. The people that know, if you know, you know. So you kind of got to be on it because they go very quickly. That's what she told me. She said, "Oh, I stay on top of it because when they're gone, they're gone." She buys extra, and put some up. So everybody have a blessed day. We're at the bottom of the hour. We've been on here an hour and a half or so. Happy Monday and Memorial Day. We'll be back on this evening. We'll talk all things politics and news, sports, and music, probably. Just depends on when they get away from the cookout. And hopefully I'll feel good. Hopefully, here lately have been. State of mind, physical and mental, emotional. But we appreciate you. God bless every one of you in the Wolf Nation Network, which is Southern Patriots and Cornbread Nation and Patriot Nation, all that stuff. We're still all those things, but we're Wolf Nation Network. You'll be seeing some new stuff up and some new things we're doing soon. We now have TikTok lives going live. Not that you have to go do it, just that we're adding that. And we'll be live on another source soon. And actually streaming today on our other, we have 2 Instagrams we do. This one I haven't done in a while, so it's good to see some names I haven't seen in a while. So we kind of bounce it back and forth between the 4 Instagrams that we have for the show. We post a lot, so we're thankful. God bless America. God bless you. And praise the Lord. We can say it that way. Take care.